Right now.
Good morning, everybody. I'm sure sorry that we have to do this way. And when this is all over with this COVID-19 business, I certainly would be more than happy to get together with you. That's something you'd like to do. And of course, I'm always available by phone. Please just text me. If I don't get right back to you, just resend the text. It just means I was busy and I accidentally missed you. So right now we're going to talk about housebreaking, which is one of the biggest things that people worry about. So number one is you're going to get a piece of paper and pencil or a pad and pencil, and for about 3 days, I would like you to write down everything that's happening when they potty, when they go out, when they take a nap. That will help you kind of see how often they're pottying and how often they're going to have a poop, and keep you on a schedule, which is one of the most important things of housebreaking is a schedule. The second thing I'd like for you to do is to have a designated puppy area, not an exercise pen where they're away from you, but like a whole room, like your kitchen or your den. Hopefully it won't have any carpet on it and you're going to baby gate it off. You actually can have two rooms, like say your den and your kitchen. And the most important thing is they cannot go around a corner where you cannot see them. That's where accidents happen. So let's say you have your den baby gated off, and then when you go into the kitchen, you can just lift them over the fence and put them in the kitchen with you. It's important that they're with you when they have their outside time because they need to bond with you. They don't need to be isolated in an X pen or something like that. Um, you need to have two crates, one in your bedroom and one in your designated puppy area. In the beginning, your all naps are going to just be in your bedroom, let's say for about a week. Then after that week is over and if everything is going well, then you can also start crating them in your kitchen or your designated puppy area as well. That's why I like for you to have two. And at night, they'll be in your bedroom. It's very important, and this is very important, all sleeping needs to be in the crate. Not on the floor, not on your lap, not on the bed, not by your feet. And the reason being is there are two reasons. The first reason is that you will undo everything I've just done in 2 weeks. If you start letting them sleep outside of the crate, they're not going to want to sleep on the crate, and then they're going to be crying all night long to get out. Dogs are pack animals. If you watch the puppy cam, they sleep right on top of each other. There's safety in numbers. When puppies are separated out in the wild, and dogs and wolves still have almost the same DNA, so their DNA still tells them that there's safety in numbers. If they get separated from their pack, they are lunch for someone. So they still feel that way. So you want the crate to be a great place to be. And the second way that's even more important is if he's sleeping over there in the corner, and I don't know about you, but I don't have time to watch my puppy sleep for 3 hours. The very first thing he's going to do when he wakes up is he's going to potty on your floor. So you're shooting yourself in the foot for housebreaking. If he is sleeping in his crate, then when he wakes up, he won't potty in his crate unless he's desperate. If a puppy has an accident in the crate, it's always our fault. We didn't hear them cry when they needed to go out, we waited too long, or sometimes they just have an upset tummy. Um, so your sleeping schedule should be they have a morning nap in the crate, an afternoon nap in the crate, an evening nap in the crate, and they'll be in their crate all night for sleeping. Very, very important. If you see your puppy getting ready to fall asleep on the floor, just pick him up, take him outside, and let him do his business and then come back in and go down for a nap. It's easiest, especially for first time families, if you just write yourself a schedule. I am sending you home an example schedule, but that's just an example. You make it fit for your lifestyle. So let's talk about a possible schedule. So let's say, so right now here, they go to bed anywhere between 10 and midnight, and they get up usually between 6 and 7 or 7:30, depending on how late we've all gone to bed. They've been sleeping through the night really well. They've been napping really, really well. You just have to remember that they've never been to your house. You have no other dogs. So it will be a transition period. So it won't surprise me if they cry for just a little bit, but don't let them out. So let's say you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Very first thing you're going to do is take them outside. The first few times you may want to carry them out because they may stop and piddle on the way because they, again, don't know where they are. Once you put them down outside, please ignore them. Training your dog is like us learning a foreign language. If somebody held up a gallon of milk and blathered away in 3 paragraphs in Swahili, you go, I don't know. You want me to drink it, put it away, put it on my cereal? I don't know. But if they held up a gallon of milk and said one word, you'd go, oh, milk. So if you're outside and your puppy is walking around and you're going, go potty, go potty, go potty, go potty, what do you think go potty means to your puppy? It means walking around, because that's what they're doing. You want to try to ignore them as much as you can. You're going to take and keep turning your back to them. If they come around in front of you to engage, you're going to take and you're going to just keep turning away. Certainly don't talk to them. You want them to focus on potting and not engaging with you. And certainly don't look at them. Eye contact is huge in the dog world. It's a very high value reward once your dog bonds with you. So ignoring is the best way. Then they're just going to kind of go over, sniff around a little bit. You may need to walk your yard with them quietly, not talking to them, not looking at them. Once they squat, you're not going to say anything. Most people get really excited. Oh my gosh, they're pottying. Good potty, which of course makes the puppy stop. And then he comes in the house and finishes in the house. So be silent until he's totally done. And then once he moves away, you're going to say, good potty. And then you want puppy to come over, sit in front of you, and you're going to give him a cookie. All of these things, if you would maintain them all the time and keep it up, that's good obedience for dogs. That's like your children having good table manners. So then you're going to come back in. I would prefer you to feed him in the crate with the door closed for a while. I want his crate to be a really great place to be. So you're going to put his breakfast in the crate. You're going to close the door. Maybe you're going to go take a shower or whatever. Leave the food down about 10 or 15 minutes. Open up the crate. Take up the food. Scheduling his eating will schedule his pooping, which will make housebreaking easier for you. So he may eat a lot, he may not eat at all. It's a transition time, and so a lot of times for a few days they don't eat as well as they normally do. These guys are really nice eaters. Don't have any problems with them eating, and right now they're just getting the dry food with a little water on it and some vitamins. So that's what they're used to getting. Again, they're good eaters. So then we have about 2 hours of playtime before they have to go down for a nap. I always like them to be out at least 2 hours, because I don't want you to be abusing your crate or using it too often or using it as a babysitter. As they are out and playing with you, this is where that writing it down is going to come in handy. 2 pieces of the puzzle that your puppy doesn't really know. And training your puppy is like about a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. The more pieces you put into the puzzle, the better dog you have. So your dog doesn't really know he's not supposed to potty in your house. He's never even been to your house before. So being ahead of that is really important. So if you can see from writing it down that he's tinkling about every 40 minutes, then at 30 minutes, you're actually really going to start to watch him. As he goes to put his nose down, you're going to interrupt. And as he looks up to you, you're going to go, oh, good boy, look at you, what a good dog. And you're going to take him outside. As you're going outside, remember, we're going to use appropriate words. It's out or outside. It's not go potty, because that's not what he's doing. He's going outside. Then once you're outside, he may or may not potty. So if let's say he does not, so you have 1 or 2 choices when you come back in. The better choice is to put him down and watch him again. When he goes down to sniff around to tinkle again, you're going to interrupt and take him outside, because that way he's going to start to understand, oh, I don't think they want me to do that in here. Let's say you don't have time to watch him again. Then you're going to put him in his crate for 10 minutes. It is not a punishment in any way, shape, or form. And the only thing that it has to do with housebreaking is he won't potty in his crate unless he's desperate. And then after 10 minutes, you're going to take him out again. Again, that's why writing it down will give you a much better idea of what's going on. So that's how he's going to start to learn that you do not want him to go in the house. If you just keep taking him out on a schedule, well, that's all fine and good, but he's not really catching that idea that you don't want him to go in the house until you catch him. So once he's understanding, oh, I don't think they want me to do this, you're going to take now the second piece of the puzzle is then he's going to go, uh-oh, how do I tell him I need to go outside? That's another big thing. So a lot of people are very good at reading dogs' basic body language. If your designated puppy area has a door that goes to the outside, that's even more, that's terrific, because anytime my puppy goes and looks out that door, we're going outside, whether he potties or not, and we're going to act very excited, or my instructor says, throw a party. so, um, so then you can do the bells. A lot of people will do the bells. Other people just watch their dog. All my dogs tell me they have to go out to potty differently. My golden retriever brings me something in her mouth. My Australian shepherd stands at the door and looks at me like I'm stupid because she's an Australian shepherd and she knows she's smarter than everyone else. I used to have a poodle that would just sit there and come up and just stare at me. So they all told me different. That's why watching their body language is important. You can't blame the puppy for having an accident if you're not in tune with how they tell you. If you do the bells, that's a pretty visual thing. It's not that hard to do. It comes with instructions, and I definitely can, work with you on that if that's something that you would like to do. So those two pieces are starting to fit in, and so that's going good. So let's say he's been out about 2 hours. You've probably been out at least 2 times to tinkle. And then, like say we get to about 8:30, 9 o'clock, we got up at 6, or even, about 8:30. So it's time for him to take a nap. So he goes down for a nap between 8:30, maybe 11:30 or 12. You get out at noon and you start all over again. You start that whole process again. And then he'll go down for another nap in the afternoon sometime. I like to not feed them past about 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the evening. That way, I don't have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning for them to poop. And then in the evening, he's not going to stay awake from, let's say, 4:30 until 10 or 11. Somewhere in there, he's going to have a nap. Like I said, most of the time, their active period is about 2 to 3 hours at the most before they're going to sleep. You also don't want your puppy to get overtired, just like a child. He needs to have his nap time and his private time and stuff. So I'm not sure if you have children or not, but you don't want them to overdo it with the puppy. But that evening nap, just like with the child, you want it to be shorter than the other two. That way he can sleep through the night. Then tonight, you're going to have your crate right by your bed. If you have carpet in your bedroom, go get an old piece of linoleum, scrap piece of linoleum from Home Depot or Lowe's, and just put it underneath your crate to keep your carpet from getting dirty. Make sure he goes outside, walk your whole yard, give him time. It takes them a little while to find a place to go potty. So you want to patiently, quietly walk the yard with him, bring him in, put him to bed. Let's say, like here, he doesn't cry at all when he goes in, but he's been here for 2 weeks. So he may cry 5-10 minutes. I would be very surprised if either one of them cry longer than that because they're quite good in their crate, but I will expect them to cry a little bit. You're totally going to ignore them. No talking to them, no looking at them. When you put them in bed, you're just going to toss your cookie in and say, kennel up, crate up, go to your bed, whatever you guys want to call it, and that's fine. I had one gentleman who wanted it called the dugout. You can make up an imaginative name if you want to. And then you're going to put him in and close the door. Let's say he cries for about 15-20 minutes and he's just having a hissy fit. You can take him, you can reach down, put your fingers in the crate, but do not talk to him. You do not want to give him any attention in this time period, especially Patrick. He is a little guy who is very, very sweet and he loves attention, and it's going to be really hard to not spoil him. I know it is. But you don't want to encourage all that whiny stuff, and he will continue to do that if you don't ignore it totally. So just put your fingers in just to let them know that you're there, and I really think he'll go to sleep, both of them. So let's say at about 3 o'clock in the morning you hear them wrestling around, and maybe they're whining just a little bit. They're probably, just ignore it. They're probably just going, where the heck am I? Where's everybody I know? And they're just rustling around. But if they start to bark and cry pretty loudly, I would get up and take them out. In the middle of the night, you do not want to take, and no cookies, no talking to them, no playing with them, no loving on them. It's all business. Go outside, set them down, wait long enough, because a lot of people they'll tingle and then they immediately bring them back in, and then 5 minutes later they poop in their crate. Make sure you walk the yard, because a lot of times if it's the middle of the night, they do have to poop. And then come back in, put him back to bed, no talking to him again, and hopefully then he'll go back to sleep. He may cry for a while. Again, you have to ignore it. The more you ignore it, the quicker it will go away. The more you feed into it and give him attention for it, the harder it will be, and you really will uncrate train them in about 5 seconds if you don't keep all of the naps in the crate. And I know sometimes that's really hard for families. If you're having problems with it, the best way to deal with it is to write your own schedule and stick to that schedule no matter what, unless you think your puppy is sick. Um, and those are pretty much the basics. All meals in their crate for now. It doesn't have to be forever, but for now, with the door closed, only sleeping inside of the crate, have a schedule, and go outside on a regular basis as you're writing everything down. Let's say in about 6-7 weeks, everything's going really, really well. And they're going to the door, they're telling me they need to go out, no accidents in the house at all. If you want to, then you can start weaning them out of the crate for a little bit. Now, my puppies stay in crates until at least 1.5 years old. I feel like the crate is a lot more than just a secure place for them to sleep. It also protects your puppies. I've seen a dog, not a puppy, a grown dog electrocuted with a lamp cord. It was really ugly, and I'll never want to see it again. Dogs eat everything. Please do think about health insurance on your puppy. It's a really good investment. So I think it's just a good idea. And then at that point in time, then you can say, well, let's see if he could just have a nap while I'm sitting in here. Let's say he falls asleep in the corner. If he wakes up and potties on the floor, he is not ready to come out of the crate. Or if the next time you put him in the crate, he has a hysterical meltdown, he's not ready to nap outside of the crate either. But again, my dogs stay in crates for at least 1.5 years until I can really trust them. And it's not just about potting, it's even more so, it's about keeping them safe. Do not leave their collars on them in the crate for now. I heard about a golden doodle puppy the other day that hung herself in a crate by the collar. It was just awful. And it's rare, but it could happen. So for now, don't do that. And again, if you have any questions about the scheduling, let me know. And sometimes just making your own schedule is really, really helpful. Thank you. We're done.